Hey YouTubers, how we doing? It is I, DHeller777, better known as the Little Dragon, coming to you this fine April day on the 2012 Harley Davidson Super Glide Custom. Out for its first ride of the year. So how have you all been? That's the big question. I have been fair to middling. Somewhere around there. Look at this boob. Anyway, hope you all been doing good. Missed you all over the winter. I have been riding, but not this bike. And this bike and the old Yamaha XJ650 Maxim, the 82, will be the only two you'll see me on now. Last week, I sold the 2009 Sportster XL 1200 Low. Needed some money for bills and had to do it. Broke my heart, but didn't have much choice. So anyway, like I said, I'm out for my first ride of the spring on this one. Ooh. And thought I'd take you along. Not going too far today. So, and that is a needle that pulls thread, I think. Like I said, I hope you all did well during the winter time. We had a really brutal winter here in the Midwest. Man, we had some blizzards and really cold temperatures. High precipitation for this area. So, glad to be done with it. Hopefully we're done with it. I wouldn't put it get past winter to rear its ugly head one more time. But we've been moving into some thunderstorms, and usually when that season starts, winter's pretty well done its thing. I am telling you, here's another idiot. Boom. We've got some potholes here in Kansas City that would swallow your bike if they so desired. You hit one of these bad dogs and they may not find you till next spring. I mean, it's just terrible potholes. I mean, deep potholes. The kind that will jack your car up, and if you hit it just right on your bike, guess where you're going. Now, we've got a rinky-dink mayor here that's on his last go-around. He's had his 2 go-arounds, and that's all you can have for our city mayor. And his big defense has been saying, well, we've got 6,400 lane miles of road to clean and fix potholes on, which is more than Chicago or New York. Well, that may be true, but when you're only fixing potholes on 2 miles of that 6,400 miles, something's wrong, brother. You can't use that excuse no more. anymore, excuse the English. I'm glad this clown is being replaced, but just to show you what we've got in store, I had one of those voting workers come by the house the other day and asked me who I was voting for the next mayor. I said I wasn't sure yet, and they said, well, the one I'm representing is so-and-so, and she's a good friend of the current mayor. They think the same way. And I told him, well, if they think the same way, she's not going to get my vote, because the yahoo that was in there couldn't think at all. So I'm trying to watch for these potholes, but you can't miss them all. There's so many of them. Anyway, I told him I'm voting for whoever fixes the roads the way they ought to be. And that's going to be probably nobody. So I guess I'll vote for the lesser of two evils. But I'll still vote. Gotta voice my opinion. If not, then I ain't got nothing to complain about. That's for sure. Anyway, the wife's out running around today with my daughter and doing some errands, so thought I'd take the bike out and put some fresh gasoline in her and blow out some of the cobwebs a little bit, maybe. This morning I went by a place called Hamvention. Actually, it was called a Ham Bash, which most of you probably will not know what that entails, but it's like a swap meet for amateur radio operators, or ham radio operators, of which I am one. And walked around in there for a couple hours and looked at all the junk that I don't need. Proud to say I didn't come home with anything but myself. Man, I can't see in the dark. No potholes. Good. So, did that, and I heard my bike calling to me. Please, please, take me out, you low rent. I haven't been out this year at all. So, I listened to her, and old Red is on the road. Now I got the other bike, the old bike's hollering at me. How could you leave me out here in this cold shed by myself? Well, can't be two places at once, so I'll get her on the next go around. Anyway, been seeing some of your videos. Few people I subscribe to. Most of my subscribers, like myself, haven't been making any videos lately. With me, a lot of things going on, health-wise and just general life-wise. You know, when you get to be old, just had a birthday about a week ago, the big 67. So, as I have aged, not so gracefully, my body is reminding me that you can't do the things you used to do, stupid. So every once in a while I'll do stupid things like carrying too much weight, which I shouldn't be carrying at all since I've had major back surgery, well, about 4 years ago, I guess. I've got two 4.5 inch, almost 5 inch steel rods along my spine with 8.5 inch screws and a metal cage and several fused discs. And that metal cage wraps it all and keeps it all together. Really not. It stopped my running. I used to be a runner. I didn't start running basically till I was in my 50s, but did partake of several 5Ks, 4-mile races, and won a couple for my age class, which wasn't bad for a guy who's got a stomach the size of a basketball. And that's not because I eat too much. It's because I I've had 2 colon surgeries for the big C, and it seems like the more they take out, I got 18 inches left in there somewhere, the more swollen my gut gets. So always a trade-off, that's for sure. So other than that, been getting my plants ready. I start my plants for my garden indoors, and I've got most of them started, and they're up. My okra's up 4 or 5 inches, about 4 inches, and my bell peppers, they're up 4 inches or so, and cucumbers are up several inches, and the super hot peppers that I grow, they're all up. So they're all inside looking at me saying it's time to go out, but it really isn't yet. I like to shade a little bit and put them out a little bit early, but when I do that, they don't grow much, and you know, you risk getting caught in a frost, and I don't want to do that. So they're sitting inside. They got to be hardened off anyway. I got to take them out, expose them to ultraviolet light from the sun just a little bit at a time, and harden them off so they'll be ready to go. So I've been devoting a lot of time to that lately. I've cut back a lot. I grow in containers, 5-gallon containers, and last year I had 55, 60 containers out all over the backyard, the porch, and everything. This year I'm going to try to cut it down to 20, 22, somewhere in there. Just can't physically do it anymore. So I'm spending a lot of time with that, and quite a bit of time up at our local Elks Lodge that I'm a member of. We had 4 or 5, maybe 6 people total die last year and early this year, and I'm a chaplain for the lodge, have been, and I usually end up doing the memorial services for those people, those members. And let's see what else has gone by this spring. Oh, my wife's mom passed away earlier this spring, and I had to do the service for that too, and that was pretty difficult. So trying to get over that. She didn't have much in life. She had an old car, a 1981 Toyota Tercel. She bought new in 1981. The thing is just, the body is basically rusted off of it. But the thing's only got 57,000 miles on it. Can you believe that? 57,000 miles. So I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of it. The plates expired once we transferred the title over to my wife's name. So now I've got to get it inspected to get it anywhere to get rid of it. And the thing runs good, though. The engine runs smooth as silk, but boy, the body looks like it's held together with masking tape. But I don't know if I could get another muffler on. It needs a muffler, and it would pass inspection. But unfortunately, for a vehicle that old, it's probably going to be over $300 to get something jury-rigged on it. Oh, golly, man. Pinched sciatic nerve still hurts. Oh. Every once in a while, the sciatic nerve in my left hip reminds me, oh, I'm still here. So other than that, been an uneventful winter, other than, like I said, the terrible storms and terrible weather we had. Looking forward to putting a few more miles on the bike this year. Well, I'm just coming to the realization that age does erode your skills. You know, there's just no way around putting it any other way. Age does erode your riding skills. And I've come to the point where my skills are still there, but I can feel it. And I know the time is coming when this is not going to be feasible and as enjoyable as it always is. And I'm going to end up having to give it up, and it's going to break my heart. I've been riding since I was 15 and a half on the streets. Got my first street bike, but I was riding in dirt before then. So I've been riding 52 years plus on the streets. And June 30th will be 46 years that my co-pilot, my better half, has been riding on the back of my bikes. And that is precious cargo. And there'll come a point where, you know, the cargo is too precious to ride anymore with me. So I'm hoping, God willing, that I get another couple of years. But we'll see. I've got one of my brothers. What is he? He's 75, and he still rides. He's got a Harley Sportster. Lives up in Denver, and he still rides up there all the time. Rides up in the mountains, you know. And oh hell, he still runs and climbs 14ers and does all kinds of crap like that. So maybe the good Lord will give me a few more years. I'm really, really beholding if he does. You know, because I love it so much. It's been a part of my life for so long. And a lot of people said, well, just get you a trike three-wheeler. You know, Harley makes some great three-wheelers, and you can get, you know, the Honda kits on the Gold Wings, and oh geez, who else? Oh, what is the Striker? Can-Am? Yeah, they make an ugly one with two wheels in front. I think it's ugly as sin, but you know, if it works, it works. Just tiny problem with all of that. The overpriced Harley Davidson trikes, they start at, you know, $40,000, $38,000. I mean, that's all good and well, but for a guy that's on a fixed income on Social Security, it's hard to come up with those kind of dollars, you know. I don't think I could, really, to be honest with you. But that would be one option if I could come up with the money. Would be get a three-wheeler. My wife's always wanted one because she wants to sit on the back like the queen she is, and just take it easy. And she deserves it. She's been married to me 46 years. You know, she deserves a pot of gold. Putting up with this old codger coot. And going by my brother's house if he's home. Anyway, so you know, that's not ruled out. If I did get a three-wheeler in the future, once the riding skills get down to where I can't hold up the bike. That's the biggest thing right now, is the weights of the bikes are see if my brother's home. The weights of the bikes are just outrageous, you know. So I don't know if he's home or not, but we're going to stop and see. Holy cow. I said the weights of the bikes. This one weighs about 668 pounds, somewhere in there. So, oops. Anyway, I'm going to turn this off and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for going on the ride with me. Let me see if I can get this thing figured out. I have the hardest time getting this thing turned off. And I don't know why. But I'm going to get it figured out one of these days. Let me try this button here. That doesn't work either. Try this button. Try this button.